by saying, I believe in democracy, I believe in our constitutional government, I believe in the separation of powers, and I wish the Supreme Court felt the same way. Because the Supreme Court of the United States, or SCOTUS, continues to shoot itself in the nuts, or scrotus.
Given that Stephen Colbert was one of former President Donald Trump's most vocal opponents even when he was in the White House, it makes sense that he would have something to say. We'll go over every detail of his on-air remarks, including all the subtle allusions, inside jokes, and satirical remarks. Colbert was shown in the introductory tape as a drag queen, berating the Supreme Court for not acting decisively enough against Donald Trump in his recent hush money trials. Colbert appears to be implying that the former president has benefited from a biased justice system. He says this humorous line as he carries on expressing his disappointment.
Racked with scandals over the past few years, including Clarence Thomas's wife promoting the coup on January 6th, and Clarence Thomas himself accepting luxury vacations from the guy who owns Hitler's napkins. And now there is a brand new scandal involving Supreme Court Justice and lifeguard watching you drown, Samuel Alito.
Entangling Samuel Alito in the conflict while quietly involving Clarence Thomas and his spouse. All right, that's not a very productive way to spend your days off. Colbert even went so far as to explicitly implicate Alito, showing evidence that the day following the Capitol Hill event in January, he had put up an upside-down flag, which implied something about Al's loyalties. Take a quick look at this.
All of Alito's garden gnomes were fully QAnon. Now, and when it comes to January 6th cases argued before the court, Alito has been highly sympathetic to them.
But that's not even the funny part. The funny part is right here.
That's like when your couples therapist is wearing a shirt that says, Team David. Which is why, when this photo was published, Alito immediately did the right thing, owned up, and blamed his wife, saying in a statement that he had no involvement whatsoever in the flying of the flag. And it was briefly placed by his wife, Martha Ann.
The video, on the other hand, speaks for itself. Feel free to use it however you see fit. Before moving on to the main course dinner and roasting the previous president with this low-hanging fruit of a punch, this is what Colbert had to say about the former president's sex scandal trial.
Last 4 weeks have been full of lurid, shocking sexual revelations that we learned 6 years ago. It's been a real case of deja vu.
Colbert didn't stop there. He deftly used this passage to bolster his case by ruthlessly entangling Michael Cohen in the proceedings, branding him a Trump operative and the prosecution's star witness, while displaying an extremely embarrassing picture of Cohen attempting to unlock his vehicle. The unfortunate reality is that until roughly 6 years ago, the majority of what was purportedly being disclosed was, in fact, fairly common knowledge. Take a look at Stephen Colbert.
Once again today, the prosecution presented their star witness, former Trump fixer Michael Cohen, seen here regretting knockin' while the van was a-rockin'. Cohen's testimony seems to prove that Trump was directly involved.
Throughout the hearing, Cohen was open about the sexual accusations made against Trump concerning adult film star Stormy Daniels. Colbert was able to make the entire audience laugh with his humorous and highly smart technique of teaching us this knowledge. These are his words.
Cohen's testimony seems to prove that Trump was directly involved in paying off Stormy Daniels. For instance, yesterday, Cohen told the court that after first resisting, Trump eventually ordered him to pay Daniels $130,000, telling him, just do it. In response, Nike has changed their slogan to, Yay, sneakers. Yay.
Even if the trial didn't turn out the way most of us would have hoped, Colbert still managed to make a remark that would have made Trump smile, no matter where he was. Without much difficulty, Colbert also provided a great rendition of the previous president's voice. Though it may not sound like much, Colbert seems to be implying that Nike would prefer to work with Trump or his administration than adopt a new cheesy slogan like Yay Trainers.
Today, testimony ended in the first ever criminal trial of a former president of the United States. Now, it may not have been the Trump trial we all wanted. It may not be about his most hideous crimes, but damn it, at least he farted. They can never take that away from us.
The Trump team would not soon forget this occasion. Colbert was only getting warmed up at this point, when he inadvertently noticed what I think is the next most humorous incident that transpired during the hush money trials. You were right to assume that Trump was nodding asleep. Take a look at the video. The funniest thing that happened in all of America this year has got to be Trump's farting during the court proceedings. Colbert was there to personally remind us of that.
After calling just 2 witnesses this afternoon, Trump's defense rested. Of course, Trump himself is fully rested. Today was Trump's chance to wake up, snort a line of gas station energy powder, and get on that stand to prove that this is all a big Joe Biden witch hunt, but it is now confirmed that Donald Trump will not testify.
He then ridiculed the notion that Trump had tried to use Cohen to get adult film star Stormy Daniels to accept a predetermined payment. You should see it for yourself. If you know Cohen at all, you know he would execute it in the most inventive way imaginable.
That is shocking. Trump is not talking? What happened? Did he write himself a check for $130,000?
That did, however, really turn the throng into lunatics. More seriously, I suppose no one was expecting that comeback, but you know what they say, what goes around comes around. The fact that Trump's defense opted to take a break without allowing their king to speak, however, may provide insight into the group's inner workings. Maybe they realized that Trump would not be able to withstand all of the accusations leveled against him, and that they would not be able to hide every possible gap. If so, this careless speech that reflects what most people are probably thinking right now might be the last thing that next caller lines up with a low slinger.
Trial's not over. Next week, they'll finish up with the closing arguments. The judge will give the jury instructions, and then the jury will begin deliberations. Thank you for your instructions, Your Honor. We will return with a verdict after careful deliberation. Yeah, he's guilty.
The verdict and closing arguments on Trump's hush money trials won't be announced for a while. At the very least, a guilty verdict is in order. A miracle would probably be required for the former president to be found not guilty in this 45-point indictment case. While all of these are extremely significant defeats for Trump in his 2024 presidential campaign, Colbert tells us something that makes us recognize that Trump's situation is actually far worse than we first thought.
Crowds have been much smaller than police prepared for and made up of folks like amateur puppeteers, a DJ with a portable speaker, and the self-proclaimed most successful sex capsule salesman in Idaho, Utah, and Nevada. Really makes you feel for the second most successful sex capsule salesman in Idaho, Utah, and Nevada.
The irony of this story is that, despite public expectation, not a single one of the MAGA fans showed up for their supreme leader Trump during the trials. Not all of them did. That's what Colbert has stated. What does this mean then? Are some of Trump's ardent followers removing their masks of ignorance and incoherence? Could it be that some of these individuals are finally starting to see the light? B. Whatever the situation may be. We'll end this article with a video of Colbert breaking down a Trump supporter's release. Right now, it seems as though Trump and his MAGA mafia are on the decline. They don't seem to be the same powerful group that alarmed Capitol Hill police and security on January 6th. Has Trump lost the shine from his lustrous hair? Would there be another decisive factor in the presidential race? It is meant to include blueprints for America after Trump. Kindly have a look.
Trump's minions aren't being subtle about the authoritarian plans they have if Trump wins this next election. Case in point, Trump posted a video touting how great a second Trump term would be, ending with MAGA. But in grayscale, underneath it is the headline, "Industrial strength significantly increased, driven by the creation of a unified Reich." Unified yike. That's not a dog whistle, that's a whistle made of dog.
The following was stated by Colbert.
Evidently, MAGA now stands for Make America Germany around 1938. A spokesperson for Trump's campaign explained that this was not a campaign video. It was created by a random account online and reposted by a staffer who clearly did not see the word. Yes, they didn't see it. It's a simple case of not see.
People, there are a lot of unresolved questions in that video. Feel free to vent in the comments section. Please like it, and please subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the upcoming one.